guys, Nicole Maxwell with Indigo & Co Realty, and welcome back to another episode of Around Town with Nicole. Today, I am downtown at one of our local organizations that just has a special place in my heart. They do such great work. I'm here at the Amen House with Michele Carlisle. And Michele, why don't you just tell us a little bit about what the Amen House actually does and who you serve and how you help our community?
Absolutely. So the Amen House has a very bold mission.
Love it.
We are determined that we can end hunger in Scott County.
Yes.
And speaking into the boldness of that, it means we have to push ourselves literally to look and seek out hunger where it hides. Is very important to us.
Because not everyone wants to admit that they're hungry, right? That they
Absolutely.
need help.
Or knows that they can access it.
Yes.
So there's a lot of our population that just assumes that maybe they wouldn't qualify. Maybe they've been told no by other assistants out there. And so sometimes it truly is making sure that the Amen House is everywhere in our community, which is really hard to do. But we have an amazing team that's dedicated to that. Serena is my full-time social worker, and honestly, she is out even this afternoon. We've covered a ton of back-to-school events, just making sure that our information is in front of everybody.
Kids are all back to school.
Absolutely. And then working on those partnerships. Where there are partners in the community that might intersect with the family facing food insecurity. And if they know what we do and can point people in the direction of us,
right?
That's truly how we can say we are working on ending hunger in Scott County. We believe in this community that we have enough resource, we have enough food. It's just logistics. It's all about making sure we're not throwing away good food.
My mama taught me that,
right? We call it food rescue, but that we're able to go in and intercept food that would have otherwise been thrown away and get it into this building. Obviously, it's still nutritious. It's still good food. But if we can get it into the hands of people who need it quickly, which is what we do well, then that works great. And I know honestly, we're looking for food in every avenue we can get it in this building. Scott County is so generous to donate
we have
here.
A pretty great community.
Absolutely.
Right? Yeah.
So whether that looks like literally you've grown too many tomatoes in your backyard garden and you're just like, hi, here's 15 tomatoes that we're not going to eat. That works. Whether, it's almost Thanksgiving.
It is. It will be here before even though it's 98 degrees. Today it is almost Thanksgiving.
But the high school food drive has been in this community. I don't even know. I've been here for 8 years, and it way goes. And
it's a real special place in my heart. My husband goes a little crazy, if you know him, about he has to win in every aspect of life, guys. But give him a challenge, and so he's a big promoter of the canned food drive.
Absolutely.
So I know that brings in a ton of food for you all.
It does. So whether it's donations coming in like that. We have a lot of people who faithfully write a check to the Amen House and send it over so that then we can purchase food. A lot of different angles, and all of those entities and programs that we lean into come together and have really positioned us in kind of a new place. So the Amen House is 34 years old. But up until about 5 years ago, we did not have enough food and resource in the building to be able to say we can end this. We can make it where hunger does not live in Scott County. But Feeding America was a huge proponent of that coming on board. Just other corporate contracts that we have signed and all of those things have brought us to a place where we can truly say, if you live in Scott County, the Amen House has you. If you face even like a meal, it doesn't have to be this long-term commitment to coming to a food pantry. If you get in a tight spot, and even for a season, even for a month, even for a weekend, you're not sure how you're going to put food on the table. There's a program now in our building where you just leave with food. That is
huge. Yeah.
It is huge. It is huge because there was a long time that we turned people away. Which
had to just break your heart.
It did. That's not why I came here. I didn't come here to tell people, oh, I'm so sorry you make too much money, you can't come to us. I came here truly to work on ending hunger. And those were hard. But that frustration of seeing hardworking families who needed assistance that we didn't have enough food in the building to say yes to, is that drive that has kind of changed things. It truly
It led you into that bold dream. We're going to end hunger in Scott County.
Absolutely. So it's only been about 5 years that we changed the rules over here.
Yeah.
Don't hear me wrong. We did not break any government rules. We're not doing that. We will not do that. So everybody who comes through, there is a screening process for all but one of our programs. Our sack lunch program is absolutely no questions asked. You don't have to fill out a piece of paper. You don't have to do anything but show up to my side window and say, I would like a sack lunch today. That's it.
Wow.
Yeah.
I didn't even know that was a thing. So, okay.
Yes,
sack lunch, anyone.
Right now we're doing about 250 a day.
Wow.
Running through that window. All of the rest of our programs, you're going to come in, you're going to sit down. There's a screening process.
Sure.
You do need to live here in Scott County.
Makes sense.
And we are going to talk about how much money your family makes, because we need to figure out which program we are going to lean into. If we can use the federally provided food, we are absolutely going to do that. The federal government sends us amazing proteins and shelf stable or stable items and all of those things. So we're going to lean into those if we can. But if we can't lean into those, it's what we call a non-commodity. I know, and I'm all into jargon.
Right,
but it's a non-commodity food order, which for our team means we are taking the government out of the equation. It is a bright orange ticket that shows up, so everybody in my volunteer staff knows we can't put government food in here. They're going to go to the next shelf and get it from there. Other than that, it's an identical grocery cart of food.
We just where it came from.
Exactly. Okay. And that is the generosity of Scott County that says I can go purchase peanut butter instead of pulling it out of the government side of things. That makes all of that work. Yeah.
How incredible.
And that feels very, very good. I know I'm jumping into statistics.
Yeah, that's okay. You can throw some numbers at us.
It's very, very important because Feeding America, they handle a lot of our corporate contracts, but they also do this beautiful hunger statistics for the entire nation. 50%, so half of the food insecure families in Scott County live above all government assistance. So they're not going to get SNAP or what used to be called food stamps. They're not going to get help with childcare. They're not going to get help with their housing. There is no government assistance because they're above that threshold. And while I don't like labels, we just have a lot of working poor in Scott County. Families that are right there on the edge, and all just
too much to get assistance, but not enough to live comfortably and feed your family.
Yes, and
basic necessity
is the flat tire.
Right. Yeah.
Or
one thing
not being able to go to work for a week, and anyway, one expense, and it can throw everything off. And that's why I think it's so important that that literally, if you only need us for 1 month, come for 1 month.
Michelle will help you. The Amen House will help you, but she will help get you which program you need to be in. And I mean, food is my love language. I know you know that, and most people that know me know that. And so the thought of just not being able to feed your family, even if it's a peanut butter sandwich, like, we all have to eat. So I think this is just incredible that our community has this in place. Now, one thing that I think a lot of people maybe assume is that it's all canned goods and boxed items, but it is not.
It is not.
So tell us a little bit about like the other things you have to give these families.
Absolutely. So we're thankful for the shelf stable ingredients.
Absolutely.
They kind of anchor our cart. But we kind of dabbled into food rescue a little bit. But anything that you see on the produce side of Walmart and Kroger that's been put in one of those clamshells, probably will end up here. So there is a lot of fresh whole food, but then we actually have like whole vegetables. We have back in the back right now, we have entire produce boxes that are going out of full produce boxes.
Some beautiful looking tomatoes too.
Because it is the harvest season right now, so that does kind of change our fruits and vegetables a little bit. When the farms around us have extra, it ends up here, which is a beautiful, beautiful
love
thing.
that. Thank you, farmers.
Absolutely. Keep growing the stuff. It's really good. But we do have grant opportunities that we're wrapped up with some of the local farms where the farmers are getting paid to bring produce and things like that our direction. So that's a beautiful thing. We also purchase a tremendous amount of milk and eggs and meat. The U.S. government sends us meat as well. But we want to make sure that there is always protein in the back, that's a non-negotiable.
Oh, that's
so
great.
We end up spending a chunk of our budget on milk
Yeah.
and eggs and meat just to make sure that those are always here.
Sure.
Something we changed recently, we ended up pulling together a member advisory panel. We are planning this year to go into strategic planning. So before we did that at the board level, we wanted to talk to our members, the people that show up here and we serve, and get their feedback. And one of the changes that came out of that conversation was they wanted more milk and meat and eggs. So there was already something called a supplemental that they could come and get in on either the third or fourth week of the month. But it was all dry goods. And they're like, what we really, really would like to see is more protein. So now that's an option. So now they can come for that second round and get milk and meat and eggs again. If they need a little boost before they get to the next month. When they could come get the
That is incredible. And I love that you took the time to talk to the people. I feel like so many organizations, it's just running, and sometimes you forget to talk to the people it's actually affecting, and like, wait, what do you need? What is actually going to help you? So that's incredible.
So we have a pretty big move this year.
Yes, that's what I wanted to talk about that.
Before we, and that was the catalyst for some of that.
Okay.
So when we got together with that membership panel, the hope was, like, what does this community need? So we have 4 acres, and we've got plans for some of it, but that conversation of, okay, maybe even if it doesn't fall under our mission of ending hunger, just what are the full scope of community needs that you think we need to see? And then the bigger strategic plan will start to piece together, are those needs we can meet? And maybe they're not. Maybe they're needs that we need to hand off to another nonprofit in town and encourage them to fill them. But having those conversations was a huge, huge piece of that.
So right now you're downtown, in a space that the church has been nice enough to just kind of let you use.
Absolutely.
But we've got a big change coming, right? So talk to us right here behind me. I'll show you guys a close-up of this, but we've got a huge building they're working on.
So I know you said it, but complete shout out. So rent-free for 34 years.
34, guys.
34. The Amen House has operated somewhere in the First Presbyterian Church.
Incredible.
Yeah. So at one point, this part of the building did not exist. That predates me, but at some point, the entrance to the Amen House was on Main Street, and they literally built this for the Amen House. The expansion of this building. Yeah. So to say that it's been a huge partnership is an understatement.
That's huge.
Like, I don't even know how you calculate what rent for 34 years would look like.
Don't. It'll make you cry.
Like, I said that to them once, and I was like,
don't think about it.
Or not. But the church has been wonderful. COVID hit. We ended up shutting down clothing completely because we couldn't manage it. And then when we relaunched clothing, the church gave us even more space next door, with an understanding that we wouldn't be there forever because we're moving. But they let us occupy that space, and it's just been.
So tell us about your new location and what we're going to have. So 4 acres.
4 acres. So we have to talk about the hard stuff, right? Okay. Because we got to figure out how we even got here.
True.
COVID. COVID's how we got here.
Yeah. COVID.
It's true, but I'm tired of talking about COVID. But anyway.
Same, girl.
So COVID hit. It was the hardest thing that Amen House has ever done. I've only been here for 8 of the 34 years, but I'm claiming all of it. A third of our volunteers went home overnight because they either needed to protect them or their family. So they went home, and the numbers in our parking lot skyrocketed. Don't want to go back too far there with my brain.
Right.
But out of that came the American Rescue Plan Act. We call it ARPA funding in the building, but ARPA funding came. And it was commissioned by the federal government down through local communities. And the question posed to the local community was, what infrastructure-wise in your community needs to be stronger to be able to endure whatever the next COVID is, whatever the next challenge is, whatever that would be. Commonwealth of Kentucky, Scott County Fiscal Court, and the city of Georgetown invested in the Amen House.
Incredible.
So we got $1.2 million. That's a lot of investing.
Yeah, it is.
So with that, we were able to purchase MLS Motorsports.
The
ATV place that's around the corner there, where they drive those ATVs in out every morning so you can see them, and then they drive them back in every afternoon.
I'm like, can I
It
get
cracks
that
me up,
job?
like every day.
I know.
I'm like, how is that? Anyway, whatever. But that corner is purchased, and we've owned it for just a touch of time now, because after that happened, Scott County Fiscal Court, huge shout out to Judge Covington. He is one of our cheerleaders and one of our champions, but he came in behind that and said, Michelle, I think the fiscal court can come around you and we can apply for a community development block grant.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So after all of the ARPA funding, after the Commonwealth of Kentucky got involved, then alongside fiscal court, we applied for more funding, and we received it.
Great.
So it is $750,000.
Wonderful.
Right. So it is why we get to build. I don't know if you've seen the dirt piled up by MLS Motorsports, like taller than the building. That's our dirt.
Yes.
It's getting moved around. Our dirt this time.
That's right. Our dirt.
Our
yes.
dirt. So it's our dirt. But yes, so that grant is going to pay for like all of the infrastructure, like clearing the land and putting in the asphalt and doing all the things, and build our phase one. So phase one of that building, because we're already looking to expand, phase one of that building will move this food pantry into phase one. We will go from a place where we have to hand unload every single thing that shows up here, because I don't know if you noticed when you walked in, but there's no pallet that's going to fit through any of
just
these
a
doors.
Regular door.
So we can't even move a pallet of food around in the building right now. That's going to change. We already have a forklift that's been donated.
Oh.
There is a garage door that it will be in the new building.
That's a game changer.
We'll drive around the back of the building, open the garage door, pick up the food with the forklifts, and move it inside the building, just like they deliver it to us at God's Pantry.
That's huge.
So those big things are coming. Phase one implies that there's a phase two.
Yes.
Yes. So phase two is not funded yet.
Okay.
We're working on that. You'll probably hear more. But phase two is not funded yet. But at some point in this community, phase two, that second expansion, will be the home to our soup kitchen. And inside that, there's going to be a culinary school.
I did not know about this.
Yes. A culinary school specifically targeting, or at least priority will be given to individuals who need second chance employment and maybe some second chance training. I don't know that we're going to launch chefs quite as grand as you.
Oh, she's sucking up, guys.
But what I know we can do, and with confidence we can do, is at the end of their 8-week course, they will leave with a certification from the Amen House that says they showed up on time, they had a great attitude while they were here, we took a chance on them, the Amen House seal of approval, I would take a chance on them too, even if all they learn is that they never want to work in a kitchen.
That's important to know, right? They learn that,
things, and then hopefully, obviously, it's all got to evolve and grow. But at some point, we would have a network of people or businesses or whoever that's like, hey, I'm ready to take a chance on them and build that.
I have cold chills. Like, that's just incredible. I did not know any of this before we just started talking, so I love it.
Yeah, just a couple dreams.
I love when people dream big.
Yeah.
Because big things happen.
It's gonna happen.
Let's talk about how the community can help you.
Absolutely.
So first I want to touch on, we've got a big annual fundraiser coming up.
We
that
do.
Anyone can purchase tickets to and attend.
Yeah.
I think sometimes there's a misconception when we see things like galas, however you want to say it, or these big fundraisers, like, oh, that's not for me. But you can come have fun and help support too. So talk to us about the Denim and Pearls fundraiser.
Awesome. So one, it is truly denim and pearls. What you like dressed for it. We would flip these maybe. Actually, no, you have pearls on your shoulder.
I do have pearls on my little shirt.
On your shoulder.
Didn't plan that.
Completely in wardrobe.
All right.
It is a casual event. Now you can dress up. You can look cute. You can be whatever. But it is not a formal event.
You don't have to. Good to know.
So we are out at Queens Lake. You are literally going to be walking around on a dirt arena. Yeah. So don't dress up. Don't wear heels.
Yeah.
Heels are really bad at
regret
Queens Lake. But you can kick them off and just do your thing. But yes. So it literally is a laid-back event. It literally funds my passion project. I love that we have programs for our seniors. I love that we have an unsheltered outreach. I love that we are feeding families through this whole thing. But when I need to take a breath and I need to recenter myself, it truly is our backpack program that recenters me, because it's always been before I was even the director here, the fact that there were children that were hungry in our community like broke me.
Tell them what the backpack program is, just in case someone doesn't know.
Sure, absolutely. So backpack literally feeds children on the weekends. So the principle is that we get the food to the schools
in a backpack or in a bag that they put in their backpack. Is that what it is?
Yes.
Okay.
So we deliver them in just, a great little Kroger sack that we deliver on Thursday.
Okay.
So that the Family Resource Youth Service Center has time to get it to the teacher. And the teacher has time to discreetly on Friday. So whether they've gone to lunch, they've gone to recess, they've gone to whatever, then it's kind of on the teacher's responsibility to get them into their actual backpack. So they've got food for the weekend. It's 6 meals plus snacks. We throw a lot of plus snacks in there. But it's going to have a breakfast, a lunch, and a dinner. Milk and apples are non-negotiable for us. They go home every single weekend.
Okay.
What a great program. Backpack is a little different. So we stretch things over here on this side. We're doing about 1,000 grocery carts a month of requests that comes through here. So we're using food rescue. We're using those things right on the edge of its sell-by date and those things. In that program, we have created different rules.
Okay.
There's no expired food over there. There's plenty of generic Pop-Tarts, so don't get me wrong. I buy generic food over there.
Generic is just fine.
It's going to look like kids' food that they recognize that they want to eat. And there is a layer of that makes this program really, really expensive.
Sure.
We also, when we create a bag for that 7-year-old little boy, we have to assume that there's a possibility that he might be heating that up on his own. So all of those little Chef Boyardee microwavable things are really, really expensive. We have some middle school kids that we serve too. Middle school, we're assuming that they can boil water, so we're sending them home. A pound of pasta and pasta sauce and that whole thing, where they could probably even feed the whole family for the same price that we're sending home that little can of ravioli. But that little can of ravioli is very, very important.
Yeah.
So at the end of the school year, wrapped up that we just did, we are projecting that we'll have 350 kids enrolled in our program this year.
So it's every week, 350 kids are getting meals sent home.
We do half of the Scott County schools.
Okay.
So we have 8 that have entrusted that program to us. The other 8 are taken care of.
Yeah, they're not forgotten.
Taking care of them too. We are so thankful for the churches that step up and run backpack just like the Amen House does. And get it to those schools. But if a school ever needs us, the Amen House is here. So you started kind of doing the math.
Yeah.
So it is 350 kids. There are 40 weekends in the school year. And we invest $5 per child every weekend.
Wow.
Did you do it?
It's a lot. It's a lot of math. No, do it for me.
Do you want to know?
Yeah.
So it's $70,000. And we think we will raise it on September 26th.
From the Denim and Pearls.
Denim and Pearls.
That's incredible.
So it is sponsorships that are coming in. It is, we're having an online auction. You don't even have to come to the event. You can sign up.
Perfect.
Do the auction.
Even if you want to be at home in your PJs.
Absolutely.
I'll make sure to have the link for all of this so you guys can check it out too.
And then there will be an ask in the middle of the night that just kind of says, here's where we are on our auction. Here's where we are. Who's going to get us to $70,000?
Yeah.
We raised $50,000 last year. So we just know.
They can do it.
It's going to happen.
I have faith.
And then if we can just check that box.
And have that one thing off your plate.
It is selfishly good for my sanity.
Yeah.
To know that all school year, all I have to do is order food for the kids. I can scramble over here and figure things out. We can do a peanut butter drive and make sure that there's enough peanut butter. We can do all kinds of crazy things throughout the year. But if I know that one's solid, we got to take care of the kids. It's kind of what it comes down to. So
no, I think that's
sanity out the window.
I think that's amazing.
Is to make sure that those kids have exactly what they need every weekend.
That's incredible.
It's good stuff.
Speaking about volunteers, so if someone wanted to volunteer to help, can they just reach out to you?
Absolutely.
And you can come help, I don't know, sort food. I've did that. It's been years, so I don't remember a lot, but just help bag food.
So we are all over the place.
Okay.
Really, really. So we have early morning shifts doing food rescue. Actually, Panera Bread wants us to come in really late at night and do food rescue. We have our daily distributions that happen through here. We have volunteers who literally take food out to our homebound members who can't get to us at this point in their journey. We also have a whole thrift store and clothing ministry that we kind of haven't touched on yet. Those donations need to be sorted through and taken care of, and all of that program over there. We have the backpack program. Somebody's got to drive those bags to the actual elementary
that
schools.
Makes sense.
That's the whole thing.
So there's a ton of opportunity for volunteering. So if you've got a student who is looking for volunteer hours, I know that's something talked about in my house a lot. So like this would be a great opportunity to maybe get in touch with Michele and see how you can be of service, or if you just find a little extra time and want to give back to your community.
Yeah. So our website is the easiest place to do that.
Okay.
So just amenhouse.org, or easy. Just Google it because you'll never remember .org. And click on volunteer, fill out an application. Linda is an amazing volunteer coordinator. She will be the one who actually gets
shout out to Linda. Okay.
Thank God I have a volunteer coordinator.
Understand, yes.
But yeah, she kind of manages all of that, and we would love to get you signed up. I will also say it doesn't have to be a lifetime commitment. The way our app works, once you get into it, you could literally sit on your couch on a Sunday afternoon and go, oh, I think I have time on Thursday. What do they have on Thursday? And pick something.
Oh, that's so great.
You could commit to forever. You could be like, I'm going to be there every Thursday for the rest of the days. And we can put you into the system that way too. But a lot of people don't quite have all of that flexibility.
Right.
They want to volunteer, but they're like, okay, I can't commit to forever.
So no fears. Just one time, 2 times, whatever.
It's like rocket science. Like
they just need your help. That's it.
Yeah.
It's just such a great organization, and it's so obvious that Michele has a passion for this, and I think that just shows in everything that you guys have accomplished and where you're headed. So anything else you want to add before we sign off?
Can we talk thrift store?
Let's talk thrift store, because
I don't even know that we have a thrift store.
That is such a good point, and I have not been over there yet. I've heard such good things.
You have to go shopping.
So anyone can shop.
Absolutely.
In the thrift store. Yes. So kind of like a Goodwill vibe.
Yes.
Ish, yeah. So
cheaper.
Goodwill's gotten a little high. I'm just saying. So we can come shop, and we've got clothes, household items.
Yes, absolutely. Home decor.
And that money's coming straight back into the Amen House.
Absolutely. So for about 32 years, the Amen House did clothing, and it was always free. So we took a big risk about 2 years ago when we were coming back from not having clothing at all.
Sure.
From the pandemic, and opened the thrift store. So we still are a member first organization. So our membership, if you have a membership to the Amen House, it opens up food to you, it opens up clothing to you, it opens up all of the wraparound services that our social worker offers. We do about 300 clothing vouchers a month right now. So if people can't afford, or if it would be a stretch for them to afford the purchase price of clothing, this shirt would be $2. But anyway, if that is a stretch in any direction, they can come in and get a clothing voucher. I would say it's highly utilized by our unsheltered population. They can come in and get a clothing voucher once every week. If it rains, they can come get more than once a week.
Okay.
We have so much next door that there's no way we're letting somebody walk around wet and cold. Like, that's not a thing. So that part of it is working. And then on top of that, just side by side, shoppers are shopping and members are shopping. And it's a beautiful, beautiful interaction over there. So the money that we make we put about $1,000 a month into our voucher system. So there's a few things that only our members can get over there. So towels, blankets, socks, and underwear are not available to the general public.
Sure.
We hold those for our voucher members. And all of the socks and underwear, we only distribute those if those are new.
Okay.
Blankets and towels, gently used, works great. But those things, so we end up putting a tremendous amount of money into socks and underwear to make sure that
I could see that
are over there. And then right now, the rest of that money is coming into the Amen House to buy food. Did I mention we're building a new building? Did I mention it's a 5,000 square foot warehouse?
Woo!
Not alone in the back one. And then we have all of those existing buildings that we're moving into as well. So it is my understanding that we're projecting our electric bill might be close to $5,000 a month.
That's a lot.
So the thrift store is yes, hopefully it will always pour into programs.
Yeah.
But it's also part of our sustainability plan.
Yeah.
We love your donations. Please keep sending them.
Right.
But at some point, we feel like we need to be doing something to kind of help offset and
literally keep the lights on.
Literally, yes. So
and keep the food cold.
Yeah, those things.
Yeah,
important things. Very
absolutely.
Important things.
So come shop.
Absolutely, and we think as we move to our new place on, right there on the edge of Harris Pike, and the visibility changes.
Yes.
We think
that will grow.
We'll have more and more shoppers stopping
and
by.
You can donate your items. Like that's where the thrift store comes from.
Yeah.
So all those things you don't want to wear anymore, or you don't use around your home anymore that are in good condition, drop them off.
Absolutely.
That's going straight back to your community. Good condition. Come on, guys. We've all done it, but really look and be like, no, this is broken. It's missing pieces, whatever.
Yeah.
It's going straight back to your community. It's the easiest way.
Yeah.
To give back, right?
Right. So right now our hours are kind of small.
Okay.
That's kind of probably one of our biggest struggles with dropping off donations.
Okay.
But donations for specifically the thrift store can be dropped off Tuesday through Friday. 9 to 2, and then Saturdays 10 to 1. So there is a Saturday option.
Good.
We are already dreaming of that new property, and hopefully at some point, it probably won't be day one. Hopefully at some point we will have an after hours drop for clothing at least. We can't drop everything down the chute.
Right.
But we are hearing you, and we are working towards making that a reality at the new place as well.
I love it. Guys, let's help them reach these dreams. Like, these are dreams that affect literally every one of us, because what's good for the community is good for us all. We all live here, and we want to see our community thrive. So give back however you can, and come check out the thrift store. I'm definitely going to get over there and see what I can find. So Michele, thank you so much for all that you do, and for being here and spreading the word about the Amen House.
Absolutely. Thanks for stopping by.
All right. Bye, guys. Until next time.
Bye.